The biggest thing I wish I knew about running when I first got started was to run easier. When I was 22, I wanted to run a half marathon, but when I started training, all of my runs were done at a very, very quick pace. As a result, I got shin splints and pains in my knees and feet. So running just became miserable. I didn't know it at the time, but every time we run, we absorb 3 to 4 times our body weight, and that's per foot. And this number increases the faster we run. So I was 200 pounds, which means that every time I landed on one foot, my body was absorbing 600 to 800 and maybe even up to 1,000 or more pounds of impact every single stride. So no wonder my shins, knees, and feet were hurting. So if you're a new runner and you start running and you're doing all your runs really hard and really fast, then you're just going to be absorbing so much impact and your body won't be able to recover quickly enough. So if you want to reduce joint pain, first lose weight, because remember, it's every excess pound of fat, 1 pound is 3 to 4 times the amount of impact on your body. So if you lose 10 pounds of body fat, you reduce 30, 40, 50, 60 pounds of impact on your body each time you're running. So the second thing we want to do is we want to run slower, especially in the beginning of our training. You have to condition your body to the impact of running, and you simply cannot do that by running fast at the beginning. If you think about punching a punching bag, you're not going to be, if I told you to swing it as hard as you can, basically what's going to happen is you're going to get all these stress fractures in your hand and in your wrist if you punch the bag too hard. But if you start out and then you're not going to be able to do any punching for a long period of time. But if you start out punching really lightly and just slowly build up the conditioning by punching harder and harder, soon your wrists and your forearms are going to be able to take that impact much better than if you just started hitting it as hard as you could every single time. So how slow do you need to actually run when you're doing your runs in the beginning? Especially in the beginning, go slow. So the easiest way to slow down is to only breathe through your nose when you're running. Because if you're only breathing through your nose, it's going to limit the amount of oxygen you can intake, and it's going to slow you down. Another good way is you want to be able to have a conversation. I told one of my athletes, I'm like, pretend that you were talking to your mother on the phone, or your best friend, or just somebody that you want to chat with. You should be able to carry on a conversation and run easy. So run easy, and this will drastically reduce your joint pain. So another way of looking at the run slower method is it's really good for consistency. So let's say one morning you decide you want to wake up and do as many push-ups as you can, and you do as many as you can, and you do 20 push-ups, and your arms are really sore and you can't do any push-ups for a whole week. Now, you only did 20 push-ups for the first week, but instead of trying to do your max effort, instead of doing 20, what if you just gotten up and you had done 10 push-ups? Okay? And then the next day, do another 10 push-ups. And so if you were consistently doing 10%, even though you're only at 50% of your maximum effort, over the course of a whole week, you're going to do 70 push-ups, which is 3.5 times more the amount as if you had just gone hard all in one go. Now, I'm not saying that you're never going to run hard, but especially in the beginning, you want to build up the mileage and get the body accustomed to running. So start slow, go easy, and believe me, the speed and the mileage will come.